Hello everyone. After 7 months and about 300 pages, this Create This Book 2 by me and Moriah Elizabeth is officially completely completed. Here it is looking full of my art, and I'm so excited to flip through this with you guys. Before I do, like and subscribe, and let's see what I did. I decided to do every single page in this book in order, so every prompt is from first to last. So the first one you see is the first one I did, and the last one you see is the last one I did. Here is the first page, which was a fresh start, and I named my goals for the book, which was to be creative, have fun, try new things, and finish it, and I did all of those things, so that's really exciting. Here is the next page where I created this star confetti on both sides of the page, and this one is looking pretty cool. I love the star effect, and this one's actually one of my favorites, even though it's pretty simple. Here is the third prompt where I created a page of lyrics, and I did the song Rocket Science. It's like a little love type song. It was also a lot of writing, but it was worth it, I think. Here is the next page where I created a comparison. I was supposed to do things I love and colors that I love, and then colors that I disliked on the right, so I decided to do it in the form of emojis. For this next prompt, it was to create a merge, and I merged a tiger and a peacock and came up with this bizarre creation, which I still don't know what to call because it's kind of a complicated mix of names. Here is this prompt where I created integration, and this line was already there in the book, so I created a scene around that line, and this one's pretty simple, but it's all so cute. Here is this page, which was really fun to do. It was to make a puzzle, and I did a little spot the difference puzzle, so you can spot the difference between each of the dogs and try and find all of the differences in the picture. This one was really fun to create, and you guys loved that one too. Here is an assortment where I just made a whole bunch of different little mushrooms and put them in the little boxes that were on the page. I actually think that one's pretty cool too. Here is word illustration, so I was supposed to make the word look like the thing it was talking about, so I made fire fire and ice ice. For this one, I created a list of favorites, and I wanted to talk about my favorite fruits. So here are the favorite fruits that I love and drew out. Here is this page where I was supposed to create randomness, and it's definitely pretty random, just random shapes and colors and variations of sorts. Here is the page where I tried to create shine, so I made these little like geode rocks with a gold gel pen and really tried to make the page shiny. This one is a self-portrait, and I put things that I like and things about myself on the right side of the page but left the left blank but in color. Here is my invention, or more so my husband's invention, of making condiment bottle covers that look like squids. So when you squeeze it, it looks like a squid's inking. This is a beautiful reminders page full of the stickers from my shop. I love doing this one, and I think it's really fun to see all my stickers on there. This is a favorite scents page, and these are some of my favorite scents. Fall especially, like cinnamon apple scents, like yum. Smells good. This one was to create a page, so I took out this calendar and then doodled all over it, so now there's a page on a page, and now it's transformed. This prompt was so much fun. I love creating color palettes, so I created this color palette, and then it inspired this little ocean painting, so I really love doing that prompt. For this one, I tried to create beauty out of ugliness, but it is still ugly. Spiders are ugly forever. Here is the next prompt where I tried to do the opposite of that, so now I tried to create ugliness out of beauty, and I tried to do that by drawing out ocean creatures, because the ocean is beautiful, but what lives in them is not. Here is an additions page where the circle was already there, and I filled in some color to make bubbles. They look pretty soapy. For the next one, I was supposed to create a status, and that day I was feeling happy, and then on the right I put all of the reasons why I was feeling happy that day, and that was a really cute and fun little project. Actually, I should probably do that more. That was fun. Here was to create a character, so I asked my husband for some of these descriptions, and I tried, but then I tried again because I didn't love the first one, and that was really cool to do. That's something I I really learned through this project is like, you can try again and just keep trying until you get something you like, and it's worth it most of the time. For this one, I created a mini book and I filled it with a whole bunch of little succulent plants. This one was actually really hard because the paper is a lot smaller than you would think. For this next prompt, I had to create drips, and I was inspired by ice cream. I think this is when it was summertime because I was definitely feeling the summer vibes in a lot of these next prompts. This one I had to draw on black, and I did it with some sparkly gel pens, and look at how reflective and shiny they are. I love that. I love my gel pens. And here's more of that summer that I'm talking about. It said to create a daydream, and I was daydreaming about summer again. So you can definitely tell that summer was on the brain. This one was to create activity, and at that time I was going on walks a lot. I still am. So I love walking, and this one was just kind of a summary of the walking activity. Here is this one where I created handprints, and I forgot to reverse the hands. So I guess I have two left hands, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. It's still a fun page. Here is this page, which got a little stuck together, but that's okay. It just comes right apart. And it was to create string decor. So I put paint on a string, put the string in, close the book, and this is what I came up with. Here is this next prompt, which was to create a design, and I just made a couple of simple clothing designs. I am by no means a fashion expert, so this is what I came up with. I love this page, which was to create sadness, and I drew a whole bunch of different types of sad eyes. I just think this page is really cool and was a fun concept. I am not a fan of this page, but I had to create a split decision, so I had to draw the first thing that came to mind, and that was lightning. So here we go again with those beach things. I was wishing I was at the beach, so you can really tell summer was on my mind. I loved this one. It was to create a modified character, so I took Ariel and Rapunzel and flipped their hair colors, and that was a really fun project. Oh my goodness, this one is a little shocking, but it is definitely incomplete. For this one, I created contrast. It was a high point and a low point of the day, and I decided to look at it in terms of food. So I had high energy when I was drinking that and low energy when I was eating that. So kind of did a little twist on that one. Here is this one where I tried to create continuous line art and make a face, but it was a lot harder than people make it look. It's like they practiced or something. But anyway, here is this one where I created a repurposing and made Reese's Pieces and Skittles outfits inspired by candy wrappers. This one was to create seasonal decor, and I really was moving on to fall at this point, but I had to do it based on the season I was in, so summer was again. This one I got to create whatever I wanted, so I made this cute little mushroom girl fairy type thing, and I love this page. I think this one was just so fun, and I put a lot of time into it. For this page, I had to create bleed, and I knew for a fact that those Ohuhu alcohol-based markers would go straight through the page, and that's the bleed through, so like it looks like I just drew it on that side of the page. And then for this page, I had to create a border, so I kind of matched it with a little flower and made a little border around the edge of the right side. Next, I had to create a dream journal, and all I could think of was Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but I created a little dream landscape instead. For this page, I tried to create softness by making a little silk pattern and by also adding a little teddy bear because those scream soft to me. Here is the next prompt to create an inventory, and this one was more of a list type of thing. I defined old things, new things, just a list of objects, and I drew a little picture of something new that I had. Here is a paint splatter page where I cheated and drew out paint splatters because splattering paint was just too risky for me. It was too messy, so I did that instead. This one was a lot of fun. I created layers and did a little kind of ocean landscape with a whole bunch of different fish on top of different layers of paper. For this one, I had to ask a question, and I'm going to ask you guys it again. How are you doing today? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Here's this one, which was to create a historical reference, and I'm not a history person, but I did drawings of Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn. Here is create a makeover, where I decorated this random random tree into a beautiful, sparkly, shiny Christmas tree with gel pens, of course. I created a colorful page with this. I used Posca pens and made a rainbow effect, so that one was fun. I never completed this to-do list, but I made a to-do list for the day, and I have no idea if I did those things, so let's just say I did, because that'd make me seem really cool, right? But anyway, then I had this comic book page where I made a story about dragons. I made this miracle page. I think rainbows are an amazing miracle, so I drew out a whole bunch of little rainbows on the page. This one was really fun. I had to tattoo on like these little faces onto these fruits, and it was quite the experiment. For this page, I had to talk about a current trend, and this was all the way back in August, and we were already talking about pumpkin spice, so that's fun. For this one, I created an iridescent mess out of paints, and I think this page turned out so pretty. For this one, I created reflection and talked about the things my past self would have loved, and I would have loved all of these things, and I have all of those things, so that's really cool. I loved the contrast and colors on this page where I created warm and cool color temperatures. For this page, I had to create emphasis, so I left everything black and white, but made this special butterfly on the cat's nose orange. For this one, I created an alphabet, but it was already created. It's Elvish, and I asked you guys if you could read that word. Here is the page where I tried to create a repair. I would definitely say this is not a repaired page, but it's, it's in the book. Here is the page where we talked about these crazy artworks that sell for an insane amount of money for some reason. I love this page. These next couple prompts are some of my favorite in the entire book, starting with this one, this pastel page. Then of course we have this series, which is Bruce the Shark, posing in all different angles and colors. Next up we have the Create a Shock, and I created quite a shocking artwork, I think like literally shocking, by electrocuting Frankie Stein. Next up I have this Create a Room, where I made this room by the lines given to me in the book, and this one really challenged my perspective. But anyway, here is this one where I created different colors of animal prints. This one I had to create a difference in altitude, so we had a water thing and then a sky thing, and I tried to make them match with some watercolors. This one I loved so much too. I turned it into a coloring page that you guys have been loving. Thank you so much for that, by the way. It'll be linked below. Here is this page where it was a variety, and I used a variety of supplies to create a variety of different shapes. For this one, I put a fish on a pedestal. Yeah, that's really all I can say about that. For this one, I created confusion, and I think it's pretty confusing. I have no idea what's going on here. For this prompt, it was to create peace, and I think ponds and waters are very peaceful, so that's what I created. For this scary thing, I had to disassemble a drawing and reassemble it in a different way, so that's what I did. And now, clearly, I'm on fall. I'm in a fall mood now, so this theme was fall, and that's what I did, a little Halloween page. Here is a repetition page where I drew a circle, and then I drew more circles, and then I drew even more circular shapes. And for this one, I had to create positivity, so you can see a little Halloween and fall in there. And then I used emojis, and that contrasted with this one where I used negative emojis to create negativity instead of positivity. For this one, I tried to challenge the meaning of art, so I thought about what I specifically think about and the preconceived notions of art, things that I think. Here is this page where I merged two prompts. So I created a full merge of animals, so it is a fox and a squirrel combination. Here is this page where I had to make disproportion, so I foreshortened my images. This page was to create neon, and I used this bright highlighter to create some neon. This page definitely reads neon to me. Here is the next prompt where I had to spin this page around. It landed like this, so that was my new line to follow. So I created this kind of slanted pattern, and again, I was already on fall Halloween vibes. This was a personal challenge where I had to find something that really challenged me, and that was watercolors, which I'm actually really proud of this page. Here is this next prompt, which was to create a dichotomy. So I had to draw out some neat lines and then scribble all over them, but it actually turned out pretty fun and cute. Here is an activity log that I made of a very boring week in my life. Yeah, it was pretty boring, but anyway, here is where I created a list of pet peeves, and I got to know a little more about you guys too and what just gets under your skin. Here is one where I created a recreation, and so I took this old artwork and I redid it and made it again, but this time hopefully with some new and improved skills. It did not fit in the book, but you know, it lives in there in its heart. Here is the next prompt where I had to take a word and then put it in a whole bunch of different languages. So I chose hello. I feel like that's a pretty important word. Here is a page that gave me some limitations, so I picked randomly 3 colors. I got these 3, 2 of them were orange, but I made it work and created some art anyway. For this one, I created documentation about a lovely little Jigglypuff stuffed animal that I have. For this one, I painted using a knife. I did not paint a knife, but I used a knife to paint. So that one's a little crazy. I made this cow into a strawberry cow to create unexpected color. And for this last prompt, I created an alteration and added Scooby-Doo to make this monster a little more appealing. Here is the end date that I finished the book, October 24th, and I seriously still cannot believe that I completed this whole book in such short of a time. Every single page that I created is here on YouTube, so you can watch all 30 episodes if you want to see any of these pages in more detail, but I am so excited to finally be completed with this book. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me on this journey. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!